Those days, I kept having a recurring dream. In my sleep, I would see myself flying. This dream came to me often, more nights than I can count. I would run to the edge of a cliff or the threshold of a high building's rooftop. And when I approached the periphery, I would start cycling with my legs in the air, and the momentum of the movement, coupled with air buoyancy, would keep me afloat. I could fly in any direction I wanted, just by tilting my upper body in that direction and continuing the cycling motion with my legs. I could also go up and down in the air by adjusting the velocity in my limbs. I intuitively knew how to do that. This way, I dodged many enemies and life-threatening situations where they would not be able to harm me because only I knew how to fly. These dreams felt so real that even in my first waking moments, I believed I could actually fly. It was surreal. I felt that my dreams were asking me to fly, and all I had to do was try. Still in my teens, I left home in India to pursue higher studies abroad. Since then, I have not just traveled, but lived in different countries across the globe, perceiving life through myriad mirrors of reality, trying to understand human suffering, dysfunctional belief systems of diverse societies, the root cause of all diseases, what happens after death, and so on. From Asia to Europe to Africa to South America to North and Central America, I have lived with local families, eating their food, adopting their lifestyles, contributing to their economy, inhabiting their culture, imitating their costumes, negotiating extreme realities and danger, and navigating through varied traditions and religions for several years to answer life's most pertinent questions. Coming from a conservative family background where the rules get stricter for a young unmarried girl, I had to overcome all limitations to fly. This book narrates 21 magical stories from my travels across the globe that will make you look at life with new eyes. It is about listening to the subtle nudges of our hearts and following our calling. It is about noticing the signs and synchronicities strewn on our paths and acting on them, piloting life from an altogether new dimension of reality. When we do, life will be on our side too. This book is a living proof of how the universe has our back at all times, if only we would trust. An experiential documentation of how to transcend the ordinary into out-of-ordinary outcomes, if only we would have the courage to pursue the desires in our hearts, irrespective of what dice are thrown at us. And without the support of life itself, I would have perished long back. But I did not. I lived to tell my tale to anyone that would listen. Enjoy the read, enjoy the ride. So that was the foreword to my book. Anybody has any questions? They are still setting up the mic. You got your questions answered, okay. Yes, sure.
After traveling the whole world, why did you decide to settle or be in that part of the world?
Costa Rica. So Costa Rica was the last place where I did my exchange program. So I did in other countries, and when I finished my exchange, I published my first book there. So it was not like this, it was more like self-published. It was experimental and experiential, and it was like 600 pages long. So I didn't know much about publishing, but I published that book, and after publishing that, my life changed. So I was teaching there. Then once I became an author, people started inviting me to their events as a speaker, as a performer. So while doing that, I was offered a residency in Costa Rica. And Costa Rica is a very, very beautiful country. It's the land of the blue morpho butterflies, very magical, clean and green, and all of America and people from Europe, they want to come and settle down in Costa Rica because it has a beautiful weather and a rich biodiversity, flora, fauna, all that. And it's never too hot, it's never too cold, so people like staying there, including me. So when I got the residency, I just continued to stay there. Do I miss home? Sometimes food, especially because Latin America doesn't have that much variety of food, and also people there speak only Spanish. So some things I miss, so, and it's been a long time that I left home, so I kind of got used to it. Now I don't miss it that much, because I literally grew up in different continents, you know, that's why.